Hi, and welcome back to Purple Collar Life. In today's video, we're doing an oil change. It's that time of year, it's fall, some things are going away for winter, like the pontoon boat, which got winterized today. I need to winterize the camper here coming up pretty soon, but some things that aren't going away for winter get more use in the winter, like our split fire log splitter. So in today's video, we're gonna do an oil change in the Honda GX200 engine, and today I wanna talk to you about two major mistakes people make when they're changing the oil in a small engine like this Honda GX200. Today has been one of those strange fall days. I like the chillier weather. I actually like to work outside when it's not quite so hot, but it'll go from nice and bright and sunny with a little bit of a breeze to rain. So all day long, this has been the pattern. You'll get about half an hour of beautiful sunshine. You're like, oh, this is a great day to go outside and work. And then it'll be like this. It'll get dark all of a sudden. You'll get rain for maybe half an hour or an hour, and then it'll be sunshine again. The problem is I need to be working on my dirt pile, but I can't work on it when it's mud. So on a day like today, that project's not gonna work for me. It's a perfect day to do an oil change. This is our split fire 2265 log splitter. If you're new to the channel, this log splitter splits in both directions. When the blade comes forward, it splits through a piece, and then it'll split through a piece when the blade comes back. That's one of the things we really like about it. We've got lots of videos about this and our other split fire, two log splitters that we have here on the channel. I'll put the playlist to those in the link up above and down below in the description. But one of the things I really like about these log splitters is the Honda engine. They're easy to start, super reliable, and I want to keep it that way. So let's talk to you about mistake number one that a lot of people make when they're doing an oil change on an engine like this. Absolutely the number one thing that I see people do wrong with a small engine like this Honda GX200 is they'll say, okay, it takes 10W30. I've got some 10W30 right here. We're all set to go. But you'll notice there's a lot of differences between this Honda GX200 and the engine that's in your car. Think about it. The engine that's in your car is liquid cooled constantly. The engine that's in your car has an oil filter. The engine that's in your car runs at various RPMs, higher when it needs to climb a hill or tow something, but then relaxes back down as it gears up and is in a cruising speed. Small engines like this are a totally different situation. They're not liquid cooled, they're only air cooled, so they run at a much higher temperature. Small engines like this have no oil filter, so the oil that's in there keeps circulating and circulating and circulating. Small engines like this don't change RPMs constantly. They're typically set at an RPM from maximum to minimum, and then they run, sometimes for hours, at the same RPM. So using that automotive grade oil in your small engine is a no-no. What you need is an engine oil that's specifically designed for small engines. And you want to be really careful how you select this oil. Now, I've chosen Amsoil for the small engines in my equipment. I need this Honda GX200 to remain reliable, so I'm using the best oil I can find. And some of the stuff I like about the Amsoil, designed specifically for small engines, commercial grade, is that it's designed to overcome some of those problems we talked about. The fact that there's no oil filter in this engine, so it's just going to keep circulating that oil. This has special detergents in it designed to trap and hold on to those particulates so that they don't damage the engine. The fact that this has no liquid cooling, and this will run hotter because it's just air cooled on a hot day. This small engine oil is designed to overcome that. The other thing about this engine, it's going to run at one solid RPM, which can create shearing in the oil. This oil is designed to overcome that. You can see right here on the back of the Amsoil jug, it says outperforms conventional oils. Tough formulation protects against wear, heat, and carbon deposits, helps maintain power and promotes long engine life, specifically designed for maximum equipment dependability, service life up to 200 hours. Helps cut maintenance costs. And then it says, used in small engines found in but not limited to mowers, zero turn, riding, stand on push, generators, power washers, and other equipment that requires SAE 30, 5W30, 10W30 motor oil, including those made by Briggs and Stratton, Honda, Kubota, Kawasaki, Kohler, Tecumseh, Robin, Onan, Wisconsin, Powertrain, Yanmar, Linamar, and Vanguard. If you go to the website for this particular oil, it does tell you that it is shear stable. That's what I talked about earlier, that it keeps that oil from shearing. It doesn't thin due to the mechanical shear that's happening in the engine. It's got anti-wear additives with zinc. It's got detergent additives, like I said, to capture those particles since there is no oil filter. It's specifically designed for air-cooled small engines which run hotter, operate at full throttle more constantly. Because these Honda GX200 engines or other Honda engines like this are used on a variety of equipment, they actually have two spots to drain from. One is right here on what I'll say is the right-hand side of the engine, and then right there is our oil fill beside it, that black cap. But if you look here on the left of the engine, we've also got an oil drain and an oil fill, which we'll talk about later. This is the drain I'm going to use because it gives me the easiest access to drain the oil, but you can automatically guess what's going to happen when I take this 10 millimeter oil drain plug out. It is going to go all over the place. So I do have my oil pan here, but I'm also going to put a piece of cardboard that allows the oil to run down over that, hopefully a little bit better. I'm actually going to use the back side of a piece of sandpaper that's been used for some painting. You can see I ripped a couple of notches in it here to go in those small slots so that it'll just kind of sit there. Then I'm going to make a little bit of a funnel for it to drain down there, and we'll take that M10 drain plug out. If you don't have metric sockets or wrenches or a drain pan, I'm going to put Amazon affiliate links to all the things I use in this video that can hopefully help you out if you're doing an oil change in the future. Just had to break it loose there. And then I'm going to use actually a nut driver to remove that. I want to keep that crush washer on my drain bolt. Feeling this is going to be messy. It's actually just like I planned it. We are getting some running down the side here. Maybe my cardboard's making it worse. No, it was better. You can see that oil doesn't actually look too bad. I'm going to loosen up just to let some air in there, let it breathe. I did start this engine and run it for about a minute beforehand just to get that oil a little bit warmer to drain easier. While that oil drains out, we're going to go ahead and get our refill oil ready. Now, it only takes 0.6 quarts to fill the GX200 engine. I've got 1 gallon of the Amsoil here because I'm going to put it in the pressure washer, the other log splitter. Lots of uses for this small engine oil. So I don't want to try to pour from this into the engine. I like to use these bottles. This is one that I can put an Amazon affiliate link to down below. So what we'll do is we will pour about, these have markings on them, about 3/4 of a quart into this bottle, and then we'll use this to fill the oil into the log splitter. Now, even to get from the Amsoil bottle into this bottle, I don't want to make a mess that way either. Another thing I'll note while I'm doing this, I have read horror stories about getting these metal pieces from the seal of an oil bottle into your engine. So I like to make sure there's nothing loose that's going to go in with my oil. Peel all those off. You can see like that little piece, that would be trouble if that were in your oil. Make sure everything's pushed down there. I'm going to use this to pour into here. Like I said, we want to do about 3/4 of a quart. Right there. Put our lid back onto our oil fill bottle. We're all done draining here. So we'll put the drain plug with the crush washer back on. I'll put an Amazon link to brand new drain plugs and brand new crush washers. This actually, I feel some magnetic pull to it. I don't see any shrapnel or metallic flakes there on that. This engine only has about 25 hours on it, so this is basically the break-in oil change. Definitely don't want to over tighten these, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of a turn here. That should be good. And then we'll use a rag to wipe all this mess up. We don't have to be super careful because we'll be filling it with oil also. There's a chance we'll spill some doing that. I mentioned that there were two huge mistakes I saw people do that can actually destroy these engines. One was not using engine oil that's designed specifically for small engines. The second one was not putting enough oil in, and that's because there is a dipstick here. And what a lot of people will do is make the mistake of thinking they need to fill up to the bottom here where there's hash. But as you can see, there's actually hash marks the whole length of that dipstick. And you wouldn't even really need the dipstick because you want to fill your oil up all the way so that it's in the threads here and about ready to drain out. So about as much oil as you can get in there is full. And a lot of people get confused when they see the hash marks on the dipstick. When they see those hash marks and they get up to the bottom, they think they're full, and actually they're quite a bit too low, which can cause a lot of problems with an engine if you don't have enough oil, and that engine's getting hot because it's air cooled. Pretty quickly destroy an engine if you don't have enough oil in it with an engine like this. So pay no regard to the dipstick. Fill all the way up to the top thread where you're basically going to leak out anyway, and then put your dipstick in, tighten it up, and you should be all set. Now we put almost exactly enough in here. We're just going to be able to loosen the cap on the end and fill right into the hole. You can almost screw that in there. And remember, it's going to take just about all the oil we have in here. And look how much easier that is than trying to pour out of a bigger bottle. Now I put 3/4 of a quart in there. So when I take this off, it looks like we are going to spill out a little bit. I can see the oil level. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. The oil level is right there. So it will spill out a little bit when I take this out. But remember, we want to be to about those threads, which we're just about at. We don't want to overfill it. So we'll let that excess drip out a little bit. Right about there. Put our cap back on. Remember how I said we weren't going to worry too much about getting this all wiped down before we put the oil in? That's exactly why, because I knew we'd be dripping some more. Same thing happens with our pressure washer. Makes a mess when you drain it. Makes a little bit of a mess when you fill it. I'm actually going to let this sit overnight. It'll keep dripping into my oil drain pan here. Now that's actually a very easy oil change. Anybody can do it. But that also means anybody can do it wrong. They can use the wrong oil that's not specifically designed for small engine use. And they can look at that dipstick, wait till the oil gets to the bottom of it, and think their engine is full for operation, and it's not, at least on this GX200 engine. Always refer to the instruction manual that came with your piece of equipment. Now, you've seen me use Amsoil brand oil in quite a bit of stuff. I put the special oil into the Nautique. I put the high mileage oil into the Ranger. We put the Signature series in the F350 Godzilla 7.3 to avoid that cam and lifter failure. We put that Amsoil oil in our Ford Expedition before we went on a long trip, and we already had 160-some thousand miles on that vehicle. I really think this is a high quality product. And why I'm bringing all this up is, if you have as many pieces of equipment as I do, and you want to run good quality oil in them, that preferred customer membership through Amsoil is a great deal. For $20 a year, you get 25% off of everything you order. You get free shipping on any orders over $100. You get a birthday $5 gift certificate. Every time you spend $100, you get a $5 gift certificate. And if you spend $500 worth, you get free membership the next year. So there's a lot of benefits to the preferred customer system. I also like that when I log on to Amsoil, I've put in all my pieces of equipment. It can recommend, when it's time to change the oil, what oil I need. They have kits for automobiles that will give you the right amount of oil, the filter that comes with it. They're also starting to include a little funnel, a oil change reminder sticker. So there are a lot of benefits to that preferred customer club membership. And for me, the 25% off and the free shipping every time I order $100 worth of stuff is worth its weight in gold. So you saw I ordered the Sabre oil, and I've used it in my chainsaw and the blower and the trimmer. I use that stuff all the time now. I use only Amsoil oils in my vehicles. We recently did an oil change in the Chevy Volt, 176,000 miles on that, what was our first electric vehicle that has the gas generator for power when the battery is depleted. We wanted to make sure we had really good oil in that. It can sit for a long time, so you might drive the Volt a long time without the engine having to kick on, but when you do need it to kick on, you need it to run and run good. So we put the high mileage oil from Amsoil in that vehicle also. So you can see a lot of stuff that I've put oil into. It makes sense to get 25% off and free shipping. Just wanted to throw that out there. Amsoil's not going to pay me any commission for you guys ordering from them, but I do have a link down below in the description to contact Mark. That's who I get my Amsoil oil from. I think he's a great guy, so if you'd like to order Amsoil, I suggest you use that link down below. I also will have down below the link to these things that I use. This nice little Funnel King bottle, easy to fill a small engine like this. Some tools if you don't have metric tools for your Honda engine, and maybe a drain pan or a funnel or any of those things that you might need if you're changing oil in a piece of equipment for the first time. Okay, we're going to wipe this mess down one more time here. And we're going to start it and make sure it all runs right. I see we've got oil back here also. That's messy. Let's do our test start. Flip the switch to on. Give it a choke. Throttle about halfway. Listen to that little Honda engine just purr. If I were going to do this again, I would actually recommend putting a little board under this side so that less of the oil comes across that motor plate this way and more of it goes towards my drain and into the pan at the bottom. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative and entertaining, please give us a thumbs up. Leave those comments down below. Share this with a friend. And please, please, please keep your small engine safe by using oil that's designed for small engines and filling them up the appropriate level. Thanks for watching. Go Bills. See you again the next time. It's like the drip that will not end.